Yes, big up, people. Welcome back to the channel. There's no lead judges at the moment. He's literally just walked in the door and he's rebooting his computer. So he's going to join and jump on as quickly as he can. We've got a call-in show tonight and we've got quite a few callers that are lined up. So please do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Get us up to the 40k mark. Myself and judges are nearly there. With your help, we'll get there very soon. Please make sure you're following all of us, all of our Twitter handles, social media handles are here. So please make sure that you're there following that as well. If you do come over to my show earlier, Football's 12th Man, we were doing quite a lot of talk on Arsenal and other topics as well. So please make sure you go check that out. Also, the first two callers of the night are Brandon from True Gunners TV. And of course, we've got Glenn back from New York talking all things Arsenal. Brandon, let's start with you. How are you, buddy?
Better today, Dan. Better today. I've had time to chill out a little bit, and actually think about what I'm going to say rather than acting on emotion. So, yeah, I'm feeling a bit better today. Judges, you've got a few questions to answer, my friends. So hurry up and get on here. Hurry up and get on here. I'm sure we could bring up a good debate. And, of course, big up yourself, Dan. Appreciate the invite, and judges as well. And, of course, Glenn, it's always nice to chat to you, my friend. So.
Always. Same to you. Right back at you.
How you doing, Glenn?
I'm doing a lot better than I was. It's like between election night here in the U.S. when I was up till 2 a.m. sweating it out, and Arsenal, everything just seemed, this perfect storm of Arsenal seemed to last a freaking month. I'm going to set a timer because YouTube has an algorithm. In the first 5 minutes, you can't drop an F-bomb. So I set my 5-minute timer because I can tell this is going to be an angry show with Brandon and all those red faces you had in the thumbnail. So go ahead. Go ahead, Dan.
Listen, man, I wanted to get you two on because you see things very differently and you've got a difference of opinion. Brandon, I've shared content with before, and he's always been someone who will criticize when the club needs to be criticized, and I think praise when the club needs to be praised. And I think he's not afraid to say how things are going if they ain't going particularly well, which they're not at the moment. And then there's Glenn, who I think always sees things in terms of the glass half full rather than half empty, tries to remain positive, and is quite a fan of what he's seen so far in the last few years. So I thought it would be quite a good mix to get two opinions that don't always agree or match up with each other, just to see how we're both feeling as things stand. Last night's performance was mad. Edu has left. We've got Chelsea at the weekend, and people are saying if he loses that, it could be it for the title. And some are saying it could be it for his job. It's not a position that I thought or wanted Arsenal to be in 10 games in, but this is where we're at. Look, we'll start with you, Brandon, because I know last night you were fuming and you text me and said, get me on, I need to rant and rave. You ended up just getting out of the football terrace early because it was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go chill. It's good that you've calmed down, my bro, but I can understand and have empathy for how emotional you were. So talk to me, bro. What's going on at Arsenal at the moment?
What's not going on at Arsenal, Dan? That's the question. There's always something going on at Arsenal, isn't there? And 9 times out of 10, it's not good things either. Edu's left. Thank God for that. Some people will say, oh yeah, but what we're going to do now? He was part of the 5-phase project with Mikel Arteta. When you look at it in the cold light of day with Edu, he spent £800 million of our money, and he scurried away because he knows that this squad isn't capable of doing what it should be doing at this stage of the project, which is winning a major honor. You look at some of the signings that he's made. Yes, there's been some hits, no doubt about it, but there's been an awful lot of flops as well. Under this regime, we've signed 11 goalkeepers, God knows how many defenders, God knows how many midfielders done, but we still haven't signed an out-and-out striker in 5 years and £800 million spent. Nobody naturally gifted up front. So big questions about that. I'm quite glad that he's left. Of course, be interesting to see who comes in. There's rumours that Mikel Arteta might have a say in that. I think that's a really bad idea because then that also shows us that he's got more control over the club than what we initially expected him to have, which, we didn't want to be in that position. That's not how football works these days. This isn't the modern way of football. You don't have a sole person in charge of the football club. You have a structure, and the manager and the players, they're pieces of that you can kind of interchange and move around. Mikel Arteta is as powerful at Arsenal as what we think he is, or what it seems to be. Then moving on from him could be quite difficult, And I think ultimately, in the end, at some point, Arsenal are going to have to move on from him, because I just don't see how this guy gets us over the line. I really don't. In all honesty, with 5 years gone, the amount of money that we spent as well, we've kind of gone backwards. I can't lie. We've kind of gone backwards. I look at the way that Arsenal were playing 2 years ago, 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League, 8 games to go. And that style of football is the Arsenal football that, we played under Wenger, the ticky-tacky kind of style that we all want to see. We all want to see Arsenal play some decent football. And yeah, okay, we lost the league by 8 points. Mistakes were made. The players weren't up to it in the end. I think the manager made a few mistakes in that as well. But he's now reverted to go the complete and utter opposite direction now, where we're almost playing like prime 2009 Stoke City. We're sitting here every single game, hoping and praying for a set piece to win us a game. We're relying heavily on our defense.
Okay, that's 5 minutes. We can say we can drop the F-bomb now. The YouTube algorithm is over. That's 5 minutes, so we can say it. Continue, Brandon.
We're relying heavily on our defensive duties, right? Which wouldn't have been a problem, because last season, the one thing that we can all come out of last season and say is Arsenal are extremely strong defensively. All we need is a killer up front. And I think majority of people, at the end of last season after the Everton game, actually said, if we get a killer in this team, we could be on to something, because our defense, has been strong. This season, even though took a more defensive approach and a more laid back approach, I think we've been quite poor defensively. We've conceded more goals at this stage of the season than what we did last season. Some of the goals that we've conceded as well are very, very sloppy, very unneeded in certain areas of, certain situations as well. And ultimately, when you not defend, or your defenders are not performing at the same level that they was last season, and then you've got no creativity in the side because Odegaard's out, and then on top of that, you've also got no killers up front. This is what we're seeing right now, basically, and it's unfortunate. It really is. I said, as you well know, Dan, we come out of the transfer window. I said we didn't do anywhere near enough. Anywhere near enough. A serious football club that has just finished 2 points behind Manchester City and given themselves an extremely decent chance of winning the league the following season, doesn't go out and buy Mikel Merino, with all due respect, Calafiori and Raheem Sterling on a loan deal. We go out and we're serious. We spend the big money. We get, Turkish said it perfectly. I listened to what Turkish had to say the other day. Turkish said, we've got too many cogs in this team. What we needed this summer was a player who our manager could put his arm around and say, go and win us the league, son. Yeah. Your goals are going to win us the league this season. What you offer to this team is going to win us the league this season. Instead, we went out and we brought more cogs, right? Mikel Merino. And again, this comes down to the manager, right? I don't want to get on the guy's back, because he's only had a handful of games. And I think it's unfair to judge the guy. Arteta also came out yesterday after the game and said that he wasn't fully fit, or he was ill, right? So again, even though he performed poorly, in my opinion, you can't really blame the player as such for that. But again, I look at the whole midfield situation right now, it stinks. Mikel Merino has come into this side, and I think by putting Mikel Merino in the side, unfortunately, it's affected our balance. I look at a midfield trio of Merino, Partey and Rice. It's far too negative. Far too negative. The guy's big physical presence, fantastic. But aside from that, what does he actually do that's like top level?
Not
Really good.
impressed. Not
He's not a
impressed.
fantastic passer. He's not, he's not this guy who's going to cut open defenses. He struggles to retain the ball at times, and control possession. And I just look at it and I think we've really messed up there. Then you've got the situation with the 17-year-old. I don't want to bang on for too long because, look, other people have got to talk, right? But you got the situation with the 17-year-old. I think we can all sit here and say that coming out of the transfer window, obviously injuries happen. We was fortunate last season not to get many injuries in terms of the spine of the team. And unfortunately this season, Martin Odegaard has already spent a period of time out injured. Now, the players that we got rid of in Smith Rowe, Eddie Nketiah, etc., I don't believe that they're bad sales, but the mistake that we made was never replacing them. So we left ourselves with, Ethan Nwaneri, who looks very, very good, by the way, but he's still only a 17-year-old kid. And ultimately, for me, Mikel Arteta has been a bit of a coward, if I'm honest. We've seen in the last 3 games in particular, we've not performed very well. In fact, I don't even think we performed well all season. I think the only 2 games that we can actually sit there and look at and say, do you know what? We was really good in that game was Manchester City. And I think we was unfortunate to come away with a draw. We should have won that game. And had it not been for the red card, we probably would have done. And PSG. Aside from that, we beat Tottenham on a set piece, but they had the majority of the ball. Yeah, they didn't do anything with it, but we didn't really go there to play football. Liverpool probably should have won that game as well, but of course, with the injuries, etc., you end up dropping points there. Bournemouth was shocking. Southampton, yes, we won 3-1, but they hit the post, they hit the bar. We was riding our luck in that game. Leicester, yeah, okay, you can say that was a decent performance, But aside from them,
we left it late, Brandon. Left it late, though.
We left it late, and this is what I mean. Like, this has been coming, right? But when I say Mikel Arteta has been a bit of a coward, when we're not performing very well, Trossard in particular, right? Not performing very well. Rather than continuing to play him, every time we've brought on this 17-year-old kid in Ethan Nwaneri, he's come on the pitch and he's had an impact. He's done something, right? There's something to talk about at the end of the game about what he's done, whether it be something little like last night where he turned a player inside out and had let's say, a poor shot from outside the area, but he actually tried to bring something different, which is what we're lacking right now. And I just think it's been an absolute nothing short of a disgrace, the amount of minutes that this guy, or the lack of minutes that this guy has received under the manager since Martin Odegaard's been out. And it's clear to see that element of creativity is what Arsenal is really, really badly missing at the moment. And somebody who can string, them passes together, create something. I do think there will be an improvement when Martin Odegaard gets back, but I'm not hanging my hat on it because he's spent a long period of time out injured. I think it will take him a little while to get back up to speed again. And then ultimately as well, when you look at a creative player, Martin Odegaard isn't a Kevin De Bruyne. He's not like stat padding assists all over the place. Like, he doesn't really come up with many assists. But what he does do well is link up the play well, elevate players around him, and he finds them little pockets of space where, we can kind of create something off the back of that. But at the moment, without him in the team, it's almost like we're Saka or bust. And what I mean by that is, yes, Kai Havertz scores goals before people get on at me in the chat. But Kai Havertz doesn't create for himself. Saka has to create for Kai Havertz. Martinelli doesn't create for himself. Saka has to create for all these players. Saka is our only creative player on the pitch because Saka's the only one in that forward line who can not only score goals and come up with assists, but creates for himself as well. Every other player needs service. Trossard needs service. Havertz needs service. Martinelli needs service. So we have one player on that pitch who can actually take the game by the scruff of the neck, creates something for himself or something for a teammate, And if he's not performing well, or he's getting marked out the game like he did last night, we're in big trouble, boys. We really, really are. So when I look on this as a whole, the reason why I say that I think at the end of this season, there'll be a lot more Arsenal fans like me saying, time to go, Mikel, is because after 5 years, £800 million spent, right now, it's looking like we're not going to win a major honour. And that is the aim of this 5-phase project, to win a major honour. And I think there'll be a lot more Arsenal fans like me, because £800 million spent on the squad, and we're looking at it right now as, oh, we've got Saka, and if we haven't got Saka, we've got nothing.
It does seem that way. It seems at the moment that we're reliant on Saka for set-piece FC, and if that doesn't come off, then we're not winning games. And even, to be fair, reliance on this Saka FC and set-piece FC, we haven't been winning games at all. And it isn't even if it doesn't come off, because we're putting in balls in the box, and if it doesn't flick off Havertz, the defender, or on Gabriel's bonds, we don't score. And then what happens? We have got no open play whatsoever. We're so unattractive to watch. We're static. We've got no pace. We're so slow in all of our movement. And I just feel like this is the same team, by the way, in 22-23 was electric and scaring teams. The same team that last season scored the most goals in the Premier League. And now the manager has completely changed us to become static, really negative, boring to watch, and kind of worried and scared himself to concede any form of goal. But what we're doing is conceding goals. So if actually you're good at it and you believe that you can win 1-0 and 2-1, cool. By all means, do it the George Graham way, do it the Diego Simeone way, the Jose way that Jamie Carragher said. But he ain't doing it. He's basically got us playing poorly. And this is what West Ham said about Moyes, by the way, was, it's great when you win 1-0, but when you don't win 1-0, it's really horrible. And we're finding that out now at the moment, you know? So, look, I want to bring Glenn in because I know Glenn's been waiting patiently.
Sorry, Dan.
And then, Brandon, I know you've got a question to ask judges, so I want you to make sure that you're asking that as well. So make sure you do that. Glenn, what do you make of what Brandon's been saying? Have we gone backwards?
Okay, well, first of all, let me say hello, lead judges. How the hell are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you very much.
I'm going to use 30 seconds here. One of my biggest regrets from my first trip to London this past January, I was waiting to pay tribute to Robbie because I have a brother in the Bronx and I don't want him to disappear. And I turned over my head and saw you two up there in the top two. And I paid tribute to Don Robbie. Came out and you guys were gone like ghosts. So I'm sorry I didn't get to see you guys. Lee, you little celebrity, you. I'm so excited to be on with you. Anyway, if I go over point by point what Brandon that reminded me of like when my wife gets really mad at me and lists 10 things I do wrong, and by the middle I'm tuning out. If I go point by point, I'm gonna blow the whole 15 minutes we have here. Let me just say this. Okay, I consider myself a very patient guy, and I try to understand all viewpoints. And I'm all about love and peace. Do whatever you want in your life as long as you're not hurting anybody. But between the United States election, which was fine, that's fine, and then seeing Arsenal fans claim the season is over in the first week in November, I lost it. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not going point by point with you guys about the time limit is up. What the fuck is wrong with Arsenal right now? Here's the deal, okay? We came into this season the 5th-ranked club in the world, 3rd favorite to win the Champions League. All right, and don't get me started on Champions League. Oh, I fucking hate this format. What a money. They didn't have the Super League, so they turned the Champions League into the fucking Super League. It's a money grab, but I digress. Last year, from the time I visited London for the first time to the end of the season, we pretty much scored goals at will. I understand you guys, you put cameras in front of yourselves right after a game. If I did that, everybody on the internet would have me blocked right now. But that's why I stay off after something like that last game and the way we've been playing. But I am sorry. Edu, and then I'll shut up. At first, I was very sad. And then Arteta yesterday said, he went on his own, wishes him well, and blah, blah. Job is his job. He left before the job was done. F him. I'm glad he's gone. And that's the 10% that I agree with Brandon on. Fuck that guy. He left before the job was done, asshole. That's it. I talk too much.
I love the
I love it.
passion. I love it.
Love it.
It's great. And listen, Glenn, I am going to come back to you before we go, Glenn. So I've got a question for you. Brandon, you got one for Judges. Big up to Judges for coming on, man. And I know that you had your reboot of your laptop. So big up to you, man. Go on, Brandon.
Yeah, I certainly have. Judges, massive fan. Been watching AFTV for a very long time. And I'll have a couple of questions about last night because I watched your fan cam. I watched what you had to say on Forever Arsenal podcast as well. And I think me and you have a slightly differing opinion because I heard you mention that you thought we played pretty well last night. I disagree. I think we started the game very poorly for a side that's lost their previous two fixtures. I know it's the San Siro. I know it's Inter Milan. I'm not in any way disrespecting Inter Milan. They're a very good side. But for a side that made 5 changes with one eye on their league game this weekend against Napoli, I was expecting us to turn up and be a little bit better than what we was. And first 5 minutes, 10 minutes were really poor. We should have gone 2-0 down. And I think in the second half, although we kind of looked better because we had the majority of the ball, we didn't actually do anything with it. You know, a lot of people will look at the statistics of the game and say, well, Arsenal had 20 shots on goal. Yeah. How many times did we test their goalkeeper? And I mean properly test their goalkeeper. We're putting balls in the box on a number of occasions and it's just landing on defenders' heads and they're clearing it with ease. You know, I kind of feel like not Diego Simeone, what's his name? Simeone and Inzaghi kind of disrespected us in a way. You know, he kind of went, well, you know, Napoli's more important. 5 changes. It's only Arsenal. They're toothless up front. We ain't got to worry about them as long as, you know, we get the first goal, we can sit back and chill out and defend. And when you're looking at the manager to come and change the game as well, he brings on Jesus, which is fine, but the guy hasn't scored in God knows how long. We need a goal, and he's bringing on Zinchenko when 3 weeks ago we was bringing on Lewis Skelly ahead of Zinchenko. And I just look at it and think, well, the only player that you could have brought on, other than Odegaard, who isn't fully fit, and, you know, I don't see the point in him coming on for 3 minutes anyway, but, you know, such whatever. The only guy you could have brought on to bring to maybe change the game is Ethan Nwaneri, and he give him 5 minutes again. I just think, why don't you give this kid 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Let him actually, you know, say, go on, son, go on there, change the game for us. You know, give him a chance. Got nothing to lose. We're losing the game anyway. We need a goal. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I listened to your fan cam and I thought you was kind of trying to find positives from things that are not necessarily positive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, listen, I know, I hear what you're saying. It was, when you look on it like in the context of it, it's not the Arsenal that we want to see, like, you know. But what I was sort of comparing it was from the Newcastle game. The Newcastle game for me was an embarrassment, and it was so poor. So we needed to improve on that. Now you're quite right. Did we improve on that? Yeah, we did, but it weren't hard to improve on that, was it? Because it was that bad, you know. I mean, listen, I'll come out of Newcastle as disappointed as as ever. But you still got Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, everything will be all right. You can't criticise the manager," and blah 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 blah. Yes, you can. For me, then, if you look at it there, like you just said, 1 year he should have 90 minutes. He should be starting these games. You know, that's my opinion. He should be starting these games. I thought in the first half, I've been really honest, I didn't think we was that bad first half. And what I say by that, you have to take the context. It's a Champions League game. They're difficult games to play. The atmosphere over there, blah, 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 blah. I don't care that they had 5 players out. We had players out. That's the way it is. But you have to go over there, weather the storm, which I felt that we did. We weathered the storm for the first 10 minutes. And then I felt that we got control of the game without really causing them too much problems, but like, you know, how it is. And then we should have had a penalty. It changes the game a little bit, like though. And then the penalty that we we get conceded. It's not a penalty, but it is in Europe. You know, we got one in the last round that was never a penalty. And then from then on, I look at the second half, I thought we was poor. Poor. If I look back on it, we was poor. And the reason we was poor, and this is where I don't go into stats and everything like that, is that, we had 70% possession of the game and all that. That's because they allowed that. They said, right, you sit back here and you play. Now, the one thing I'll give Arteta credit for, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, he changed it at half time, which he should have done at Newcastle, by the way. But he changed it for the wrong person. He put the wrong person on, because what he'd done again, and this is where it's getting frustrating for me, and I'll hammer at Arteta as much as anybody, as the next man. He's taking Havertz out and putting him in that midfield role. So we're now losing our what I would say, not our goal scoring up front, but he's our platform. He's the one that gets, you get a base off of, so you can start playing from there. We don't have no platform then, So we've not only took him out and Odegaard from one position, and we've seen Havertz in that role last season, and it didn't work. We've seen it happen against Bournemouth.
Why does he keep doing that?
This is my problem. I've seen him do it against Bournemouth. I've seen him do it against Newcastle. And I see him do it yesterday, and it doesn't work. How many goals we scored in those 3 games? None. Why he persists with that, I'll never know. And I said it today on the show, and I'll be really honest with you guys. If I walk into that stadium and I see that same team, I'm walking straight back out because it's not on. The team on Sunday is probably the same back four. Partey, Rice. If Odegaard's not fit, then it's Wanyeri. If Odegaard plays, then I don't think he's going to last the 90 minutes. When he comes off, on comes Wanyeri. You know what I mean? Not unless we're 4-0 up, then that ain't going to happen, as we know. And Havertz stays up top, and he stays up top. I thought in that first half we put in some good crosses in that. Put some Martinelli, some dangerous crosses in there. But realistically, there's no one in there. I looked at it like 5-6 times. Kai Havertz is out on the edge of the box, and you've got 4'5" Trossard coming in. The tactics are all wrong at the moment. They're all wrong at the moment. But what I did see from the team yesterday, and listen, I did say in the fan cam yesterday, I'm looking for positives. I'm looking for something that we can build on, and there wasn't that many positives, if I'll be honest. I don't think Jesus will still be out in Italy now, and everybody home, he still wouldn't score. You know what I mean? It's just not happening for him, And the Trossard thing's not working where it is, boys. You know what I mean? It's not working, but he continues to play a bit. Now, my criticism of Arteta is, and I've said this to Dan before, is that all right, Odegaard's out now, And I said, Dan, if you remember me saying, we won't miss Odegaard for 1, 2 or 3 games. It's when you go 5, 6, 7 games. That's when it gets there, you know what I mean? You can get away with it in the first couple, and we did. But now, he hasn't found a solution for it, and it's costing us points. Now, if it's his stubbornness that's costing us points, then, or his ego, that is bang out of order, because it's supposed to be for the team. Now, he got everything wrong 2 years ago, as you said earlier on, Brandon, when Saliba went out injured. Saliba stays there. We don't know what's going to happen. But
he got it wrong last season as well, because if you remember rightly, we go away to Aston Villa, which is one of the games that lost us the league. And all of a sudden, Zinchenko's playing in the side again after he's not featured for God knows how long. So
listen, he's made mistakes. Made mistakes with a lot of things. I look back at last season. You go on there and go, what did he call? The Aston Villa game. Yeah, we could have had a goal in that game. The Newcastle game, we know all about that, But then what I don't like about what I've seen, and if you say it, you get pelters for it. Pelters for it, you know what I mean? I see us lose to West Ham. Can happen. Any guy go. Then we lose to Fulham. Then we lose to Liverpool. And then we go on holiday.
Cluster of results. I keep saying
this. Then we go on holiday and
This is
everything right. We ain't got
this is the
knowledge
thing,
this
though.
year. Haven't
This
got
is the
knowledge
thing.
this year.
I don't understand who's doing the analysis at Arsenal, right? Because we're all fans of the football club. Some of us, like yourself, Lee, you're lucky to go to every game pretty much. You know, some of us stay at home, watch it on the TV, whatever. But we're all fans of the football club, and we
100%.
can all see at the end of the season, right, that we need somebody who's clinical in front of goal. West Ham was a prime example of that. 36 shots on goal, no
100%.
goal scored. Fulham, again, we had chances in that game before we lost it. Aston Villa even, we had chances in that first half. So for Arteta to be sat there going, nah, we don't need a striker, or Edu, whoever it may be, to say, nah, we don't need a striker, we don't need anybody who can put the ball in the back of the net. We've got Kai Havertz. It's just crazy to me. It really is. It really is.
And I agree with you. When you say that, my argument would be, why didn't you want a striker then? Right? This is my argument with him. I'll sit down with him and go, why did you not want a striker? And he turns around and says, I've got Kai Havertz. Look at all the goals we scored from January to the end of the season. Kai Havertz got 15 and he got this and he got that. And I said, well, fair enough. So why are you taking him out of that role and putting him into midfield? Why are you doing that?
Well, listen, the last time he's done that, we lost to Villa, we lost to Bayern. We lost
Thank you very much.
Inter Milan.
How many more times then?
I don't know why he can't learn from his lessons. We do not need Kai there. Jesus is coming on and not doing anything now. He's just making it more obvious that we need a centre forward. That's what he's doing, man. But look, I want to try and get through, so we've got lots of people waiting. But I know, Glenn, go on, Glenn. And then Brandon, I'll let you ask your question. Go on, Glenn.
I just want to comment. Credit to the people who I argued with about Kai Havertz. But to me, if it's next man up and you perform like Kai Havertz did, past tense, I don't see how you go out and get a striker after what he did. But turns out that was wrong. He didn't sustain that. So I apologize to you folks that I argued with that we didn't need another striker. Obviously, we did. That's all for now. I know you have another question for me. It's just I know there's people waiting.
I'll give you that question now so we can speed it up because I know Brandon wants to ask Lee something quick. But before I've got to bring some people in because we've been waiting a long time now. But Glenn, I'll ask you. You've always been seen, glass half full.
Right.
How do you have the faith we can turn this round? Not just against Chelsea, but from now on, because we've got to go on a run now, Glenn.
Arteta, it's funny because you guys are talking about Arteta's tactics, and I'm agreeing with everything, which makes me feel good because to agree. I don't want to disagree with Lee, who's still playing on the pitch right now, and I can't even rake the fucking leaves in my yard. So I'm glad that I do agree with all of that. So am I? You got to catch me on a certain day. Some days I'm a Brandon. Some days I'm a Lee Judges. I'm never a Dan Potts. No, you're too angry. You're too angry. You're too angry. No, I'm kidding. So it's harder and harder to be positive. But I look at our squad and I'm like, it's got to turn around, and Arteta's got to step it up now. You got to step it up. This is the reason that I've defended you. I'm critical of Arteta, but every time I go on a tangent about him, it turns out his idea worked and I have to apologize. I have apologized to Arteta more times than I've apologized to my wife. So yeah, it depends on what mood you catch me in. And right now my mood is sort of right in the fucking middle. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I can't, but I totally agree with your tactics argument. Holy shit, yes.
I don't think our squad's that great either, considering the money that we spent. That might sound a little bit, out there kind of thing, but I think we've got an awful lot of defenders, which is fine. We're stacked in that area. Midfield's not great.
They're all injured.
Midfield's not great, and attacking wise, well, we're already seen on a number of occasions that if Havertz, Saka, and Martinelli are not playing, we have nobody else who can come on and make a difference. So, I kind of look at this and think, I don't know. Well, I'm going to ask Lee, right? Because this is the question that I wanted to ask. Lee, do you think we can turn it around, number one? And also, where do you sit if the manager doesn't win anything this season? Do you think he's got to go?
Do you know, let's take the first one first. If he plays the same team on Sunday, we won't win. All right, and it don't matter if he turns it around after that because we've not won the league. If he goes there and changes it around and plays Wanyeri or he plays Odegaard and he plays an attacking game, because Chelsea can be got at in more than one area, and we win that game, yes, we can go back. We can get back into it without a shadow of a doubt because we've got good enough players. At this moment in time, we ain't got good enough players because they're not playing in the system that we got. Kai Havertz up top, stays up top, doesn't come into midfield, doesn't go onto the wide areas. If he does go into there, like someone get a gun and shoot him up the arse. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Like,
Can I just say, because I know you're going to cut me off soon, winning cures everything. We should beat Chelsea. We should step up. I swear, if we don't take 3 points from them, you're going to see a little Brandon Jr. here. Yeah, that's it. I think we're going to.
I agree. Like, you know, and they've got to win on Sunday. It's as simple as that. Like, where I stand with Arteta, I think really like Brandon, it goes on what the context of what it is. If he wins the Carabao Cup and we come sixth in the league and don't challenge, I think there's questions, you know. But he's got to challenge it. You're up against a Man City, but we don't know what's going to happen there. I'll be very, very. Listen, if Aston Villa come above us and Spurs come above us, that's sackable offence. And I'll tell you why. Because Arsenal were like how I see it was Manchester City, nothing between us and them, as it shows. Then there was a gap between Liverpool, and then an even bigger gap there. If the likes of Spurs and Aston Villa go above us, and by the way, Tottenham go above us on Sunday. So if we don't beat Chelsea, like going into the international break, Tottenham will be above us. Pressure has got to come on him because we're not challenging.
Jesus Christ, there's another international break coming up.
Yeah, after tomorrow, after a Sunday, yeah.
Oh, first of all, sorry, I took the Lord's name. Maybe. Holy crap! What the? I'm sorry. People don't watch. This is ridiculous. This is a money. Don't watch.
Do you know what as well? I don't see us winning the league. I hate to be the one who's like, oh, this guy don't say anything positive, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, this guy too negative and whatever. But when you look at it, first 10 games we played in the league this season, we dropped 12 points. We know that to win this league title with Manchester City, a lot of the time you're going to have to come up with anywhere between 90 and 95 points to win it. That means we can only afford to drop 12 to 14 more points this season. In the rest of the season that we got 10. Yeah, it's crazy. Man, so I don't see it happening personally. I also think as well that regardless of whether we challenge or not, a League Cup or an FA Cup is not good enough. It's a trophy, and I'll be happy with the trophy. But I think it only buys Mikel Arteta next season because for 5 years, like I say, and the money that's been spent, I expect a major honour, not a League Cup or an FA Cup, which we should have been winning along the way. And then the other disappointing thing is, and I'm sure you'll all agree with me on this one, the thing is Man City haven't even been decent this season. Mm-hmm. That's the most annoying thing. If we'd have done our business in the transfer window like we should have done, we would be taking advantage right now. We really would. And we'd give ourselves a great opportunity to win this league because Man City are not all that. Even Liverpool are not all that. They're not. So I'm really disappointed.
We've dropped the ball and they've dropped the ball and we haven't capitalised, I should say. We've dropped the ball with them, which is normally the Arsenal way. Look, I've got to get the guys on, but thank you both so much, man, for coming
Arsenal
on.
2,
Brandon,
Chelsea 1. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. We're going to step up.
What are you going for, Brandon? What do you think it's going to be?
Sorry?
Take it easy, guys.
What do you reckon the result's going to be?
What, on Sunday? Oof. Oh God! Now you're putting me on the spot. Well, we've got to have a reaction, so I think a draw. Unfortunately, I do. I think a draw.
I don't think that's good enough.
Nah, I don't.
Not good enough.
No, I don't think it's good enough either, man. But listen, boys, legends for coming on. Make sure you go follow Glenn. Make sure you go follow Brandon.
Absolutely wonderful to see you guys. Thank you.
Love, man. Love, Glenn. Take care, mate. Brandon, legend as always, man. See you next time, bro.
Cheers, guys.
Very good points. Very good points I made there.
Very good, man. Very good.
Well said. Well said.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Look, they always say how it is, man. I'm going to bring 3 people in next. First of all, regular listener and watcher of the show, Mr. Mark Taylor. Mark, hope you're well, my friend. We're also going to bring in Connor. Connor, thank you for waiting, mate. Appreciate the patience, man. I really do.
No worries.
Thank you so much. And welcome back to the show. It's been a while on this show, but you come on mine the other day. Ayo, how you doing, my bro?
Yeah, man. What you saying? You good?
Yeah, good, man. Really good. It's been a while since me and Lee have seen you on here, but it's good to get you back on here, my bro. Might as well start with you, man. You'll normally say it how it is. How you feeling right now? What do you want to talk about?
My bro, I just want to let you guys. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I think I've mentally clocked out of this season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've gone through this 10+ years. I had conquerly PTSD, but something in my brain I just said, "Yo, it's over, man. It's over." Like I won't lie to you. As soon as they scored, I said, "I knew it. We're not bagging this game. Just know it's a loss. We don't have to bag anymore." I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I'll be honest with you. Like I've never seen the team so die of ideas, just tired, knackered football. I'm not gonna lie to you. The football I saw yesterday was dry. We had the ball. What do you do with the ball, bro? You know what I mean? We had the ball. What do you do with it? I'm tired, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very tired. And yeah, I have nothing else to say. But I've clocked out the season. I won't lie to you. I've clocked out. If Arsenal's goal Odegaard, I just want to say as well, Odegaard is holding my mental health in his hands like this. Odegaard, if Odegaard does not save my season, I don't know what's going to save my season, bro. Odegaard is holding my mental health because, bro, Trossard is tired. So Odegaard, if he doesn't go in there and save my season, that's it, man. I've clocked out, but yeah,
Bro, you aren't even on your own, man. There's a lot of people that are feeling like you are now, very, very frustrated, and I understand it. I hear it. And look, we've been here before, and Mikel Arteta has managed to go on a run. I'm praying that he does it again. Connor, how are you feeling right now, bro?
I'm a bit down in the dumps, and it's been a while since Arsenal's made me feel like this. It's come to a point where when Mikel Arteta first came in, we were in that really big rut. Like we just weren't good. We had really bad players. We really weren't in a good spot, and it wasn't good football because we had such crap players that we had, and it wasn't fantastic to watch. And I don't know about anyone else. I think a lot of people have said this. It's very now becoming boring football. It's not entertaining. And listen, not all football and all winners are going to be entertaining. You've seen the history in the past of football. Not all fantastic winners have played fantastic football. They haven't played entertaining football. But it comes to a point where we've been in a 6-year process. And it feels like, yes, we've gone into title races. Yes, we've finished second. Yes, we've improved. I guess we've improved every season. But in a way, it still feels like we haven't improved because we're still looking lackluster on the pitch. I mean, if we want to talk about Inter Milan, I mean, I knew in myself before we even started the game that we'd lose that. I knew even against I wouldn't really call it a B team. It was more of a rotated side. I think it was 5 players rotated. I mean, even that shows a bit of not in a way towards us, but a bit of disrespect in the fact that we're obviously not that threatening to people like Inter Milan if they've got to rotate their whole midfield and attack against us. Do you know what I mean? So there's that as well. The team's really not even find us that threatening that they can rotate in the Champions League. There's that as well. And I feel like now we're in a period where I feel like we're going a step backwards. I feel like we're now moving backwards. We're not moving forward because don't forget, every year, from what I heard from a lot of Arsenal fans, listen, the first, second place 2 seasons ago, yes, we bottled it. It is what it is. And then obviously last season, it was another bit of a high. We finished second again, but we didn't win anything. This season, what I heard from if you talk about when Arteta's come in, every season he has, quote unquote, progressed in the league. We've gotten better and better and better in terms of league position. This season, we can't do any better than actually win the league. Otherwise, we've digressed. So you can't use the excuse that we've improved unless we win a trophy, but then we've digressed in the league. And right now we're digressing. And look at Liverpool. 1 season, not even a whole season on the slot, and they're already kicking on. Man City obviously doing their thing. They're still up there. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think we have the squad. I don't think we have the attacking ability to go ahead and win a league. And I said this so many times. How are we sick? I don't actually know a team that's 6 years into their process with a manager and they're still having to say, but where's this player? Where's that player? We need that player. We need that player. What is this normal? Should we be talking about this? In my opinion, 6 years into a process with a manager, and yes, Arteta was a newbie. He's never first team coached a team before. But 6 years into a managerial term with a manager, you'd think you wouldn't have to be asking these questions anymore. And I'm looking at the football last night. It's uninspiring. It's boring. The players don't really look up for it. I don't know if that's just me.
Was you asking those questions last season?
Last season,
and was you asking those questions the season before?
But this is the thing at times, especially in the Champions League, Lee. Yes, I was. Especially in our games in the Champions League.
You can't, but the Champions League's a completely different thing. Our Champions League record is.
Oh yeah, we all know how bad it is. Yeah, we know how bad it is.
Yeah, but do you know what I'm saying? Like my point being, like this season, I think you can say that but the last 2 years have been fantastic. Surely you got to say that. I know we haven't.
Well, listen, 100%. I think I'm more aiming it towards the attack now. I think when I'm talking about that, because I'm not going to lie.
You feel that we should have addressed that.
Yeah, I think last night we actually defended pretty well. Because I'm not going out of the guard defense. I think we defended quite well against Inter Milan. There was that one moment with Gabriel and Saliba where they both ran for the ball and left a massive gap in the back, and then they went storming forward. And luckily, Bisek didn't score that goal. So I think defensively we're fine, but attacking wise, it's very lackluster. There doesn't seem to be a plan to really break down Inter, and they did play a low block last night. We couldn't seem to break it down. Our only tactic was cross, and obviously, I guess it could make sense being the tallest team one of the tallest teams in the Premier League, and they've got a lot of tall players. Maybe they'll win balls, but obviously wasn't the case. And I think it just comes down to the fact that I don't want to be a team that has to, keep crossing the ball and hoping for a goal.
I agree.
And, and we talk about this, guys. 10 corners, 13 corners last night, and not one goal. To be fair, there was one cleared off the line. We could have got a goal, but it was very well cleared off the line. But the point I'm trying to make is, we're aiming for a league title, aren't we? That's what everyone wants. We all want that league title. And it's just a bit underwhelming and a bit annoying that we're now in a position where I think we're now digressing and we're going backwards. And listen, there is a whole season still to play. We've only played, 10 games so far? 9, 10, 11 games? So there's still a whole season to play. But I now feel looking at it and looking at how Arsenal have been in the past, can we catch up Liverpool? Can we catch up Man City with this attack? I don't think we can. And the depth as well. Look at the bench. Just to say that, we always talk about the bench here at Arsenal, and it's true. It's lackluster.
Do you know what's mad, Connor, right? If I would have said to you, right, guys, we've got a process coming up here. We've got 5 years time. And first question is going to be, who's going to replace Aubameyang? And we haven't got an answer. We haven't done it yet. I would have thought you're on drugs.
And then say for example, we're sat here. Let's say, for example, we're sat here after Unai Emery got sacked. And we're going to say, all right, guys, Mikel Arteta's coming in. We're in a process. And in 5 years' time, we're going to have a bench of Raheem Sterling, at their age of 30 plus, Jorginho, Zinchenko, Norberto Neto. It's not inspiring. You'd think, don't get me wrong. I don't want to completely shit on it because I want to be clear. I'm not completely shitting on Arteta. Right? I think he's built a good starting 11. I think the starting 11, there's maybe a couple of additions that could be made, i.e. a striker. There's still, I'm not going to completely say, he's had a terrible term at Arsenal. He's brought in some good players, but it's 6 years in. I feel like we're digressing. And it's pissing me off a little bit. And I
get that. But why are we mentioning Aubameyang now? Like, why all of a sudden Aubameyang's being mentioned?
I'd love Aubameyang now, Lee. I'd love him here now.
Really? 2 years ago, 2 years ago, like last year and the year before, he wasn't. Like, what I mean? And Aubameyang missed chances for us in the end. He was piss poor in the end. Come on, boys. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying, but he was piss poor come the
reason that I brought him up though is because he was the one that we had that was scoring our 25 goals a season. We don't have one.
That's what you're saying. We haven't got a 25 goals.
We don't have a 20. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we need him back, by the way, because he's up like 39 and he's playing.
Prime
Aubameyang. Yeah, I think if he had a prime Aubameyang now, we'd win the league. I've already said.
I'll ask you a question. Like, if you had a choice now, prime Aubameyang or prime Alexis Sanchez, who would you have?
Oh, Alexis. I love Alexis too much, man. I love Alexis too much. I'm sorry, I love Alexis way too much. Are we talking about prime as in like Dortmund Aubameyang, like coming to Arsenal Aubameyang? Or like
Arsenal Aubameyang?
Unai Emery season Aubameyang? What are we talking about here?
Arsenal Aubameyang, whenever he was great for Arsenal, and he was great for Arsenal once, won us the FA Cup. I don't care what anybody says.
You take Alexis Sanchez.
I love Alexis
player we've had. Yeah, he's the best player we've had at the Emirates.
Yeah, Alexis, trust me, Alexis.
We need a striker, so
yeah. We do. And that Gyökeres looks great. And now it looks like he could be going
he
United,
does,
isn't it?
man.
So.
He really.
But I just feel like we're going backwards, Dan. And listen, I know it's Inter Milan, but look back at Newcastle and Bournemouth as well. I just feel like at the end of the day, if we do digress this season and we do go below first, because that's what we're progressing for every single year, and we don't win a cup, we really should now be pushing for this Carabao Cup. By the way, this should now be a priority. Come on, we're in the quarterfinal now. I don't actually think we've actually reached the quarterfinal Carabao Cup with Mikel Arteta. So
no, I think it's the furthest we got on it.
Yeah,
we got the semi-final, didn't we? Did we play Chelsea?
We got to the semis against Liverpool, didn't we?
Liverpool, yeah. That's when Xhaka got sent off and we lost at home, didn't we?
Yeah, Thomas Partey come on, didn't he? In the second, he got sent off straight. Do you remember? Partey come on back from Ghana in the second.
Oh, he got injured, didn't he? Or something like yes,
straight away. Yeah, remember? Crazy. Look, let's bring Mark in. Mark, you've been sitting patiently, mate, soaking it all in. What do you want to say, bro?
Yeah, bro, I'm just, first of all, we judges, fantastic to finally be on a podcast with you. Legend, and Dan, you as always. The glass half full for me. I'm honestly, I can't help but believe the meltdown on the Arsenal fan base at the moment. Honestly, I'm beyond it. You're melting the snow in Scotland. It's not even landed, guys. It's like, calm down. We are 10 games into a season. We're still in every competition, and everyone is just collapsing. So for me, bro, we've had the 10 games, the Premier League games that we played. We've had 3 sending-offs through various reasons. I don't want to get into that, or would be on the show for another hour. We've had severe injuries where the spine of our teams came out. We've had Mikel Arteta making decisions that I do not like at all. And I'm a massive Arteta in. I really am that guy. But we've also had a very difficult playing field, Dan, for me. And the games that we played away from home, etc., and just people are just ignoring the whole lot. But the point that I actually want to raise was something that has came in, because I'm a very positive Arsenal fan. But nobody spoke about Vinny leaving last season, and then Edu signing a new contract, and then 5 months later, after a really bad transfer window, that Edu has now took a job opportunity that he had 3 or 4 months ago. Is there something more going on at the club than?
Well, Lee thinks there is. Lee thinks there might be. Yeah. He did say yesterday that he thinks something's a bit dodgy. Now, someone asked me a question today. God knows on what stream it was. It might even have been earlier. I think it might have been Joe actually on my channel. And he said, "Why did Edu just up and go like that? Like, surely you would have waited for a replacement, or you would have actually said, like, I'm gonna." Give you some notice and work my notice period, but he's just off and he's gone.
Has he fully walked out? I'm sorry. Has he fully walked out? He's gone.
As far as
as far as we know, it's done. It's gone.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was in the
garden. No, garden leave. He's on garden leave until January.
He's on. That's right. He's on gardening leave, as they call it. So he's basically gone now. So we won't be seeing from him now. So
when you get those high executives, once they quit or they get sick, they have to go straight away. They can't stay.
He's a joke man anyway, man. Overall.
Oh yeah.
Joke man. Never read.
I thought he was happy. He was at the end of the transfer window. He was filming all the staff. Oh, we got Raheem Sterling. Let's all celebrate. I thought he was happy. I don't know. Putting a question out there to all of you: did him and Arteta had a falling out? Maybe. Have those two been a bit?
I don't think it's Arteta.
No.
Something, in my opinion, I don't know. I spoke to him in the summer, very enthusiastic about things and the chat. And I don't think. I don't know this because you're not going to say it directly, but I think that I was led to believe that the transfer window would be better than what it was.
Yeah,
and I don't think. I think that there was someone. We ended up getting Sterling because whoever we was going to get failed, and I don't know what reason that is. Who's at fault there? But I'm sure there was some sort of target and it didn't happen. And it's left us a little bit short.
Do you not think that, possibly that Stan Kroenke likes to only get involved when you're on the brink of winning stuff? He's done that with the rest of his teams. And when we only fell 2 points short last season, do you maybe think that he's getting more involved and possibly than pushing Josh aside a bit? And that's maybe something. There's the Vinay's left, and then obviously this with Edu. There's just that little bit of doubt just creeping in.
I don't know. Do you know what? One thing that I will say is that there's a lot of people leaving all the time. You know what I mean? Like on a successful period, if you like, when we're on the up, we're challenging for the title. He's not the first one to leave, is he? Right, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if the Cronkies are getting involved. I know that Josh is very. But listen, as far as I know, Edu had a good relationship with the Cronkies and Arteta. That they were all on the same.
Do you not just think though, Lee, that it could just be right that they got rid of Vinay Venkatesham, he went, and then Edu went, I would like his job, please. They've said no, Richard Garlick's going to have it, and Edu's gone, all right, well, I'm probably going to be looking for a progression route. There isn't one at Arsenal. All right, I'm going to go Forest and triple my wages and go and be a CEO. Like, I just think that could be the case.
It could be the case, but the enthusiasm that he had for the job and that he was doing was, you know, unbelievable. It's a fantastic job that he had, and he was doing a good job of players he's bringing in, building the side. Come close in the last 2 years to winning it. Even if you felt that, Dan, wouldn't you see out this season and then right, if there ain't no opportunity, you know, win the league?
That is a good point.
And then go, well, I've won us the league now. I've done this and done that. Maybe it's time to move. I don't know. It just seems very, very strange that this has happened. But
especially before the January window as well. Listen, I'm not expecting to sign anything massive in January, right? But that's still another factor, you know. Sporting director, you'd think
that's going on
after
now,
January.
Those talks are going on now with players for January, and I don't think that they go, oh, it's January the 1st now. We start talking. They're feeling out things and all that. Like, I'm with you. I think it's very, very strange. Exactly the time that it happened, the timing and everything, like, you know. And listen, when it come through, I was shocked. I spoke to him in the summer, like, Dan, I told you, like, you know what I mean? I spoke to him in the summer, and the way he's talking, I am shocked that he's left.
Yeah, it's mad. Listen, I don't know the full ins and outs of it, to be fair. Ayo, what do you want to say on the Edu situation, bro?
No, man. I don't care about the guy anyway. I thought it was a joke, man, the whole time. I'll be wrong. I don't know. Like, some of the signings we made, I felt the signings we were making. Remember, at the start of Arteta's reign, I was seeing Willian, I was seeing Pablo Mari, I was seeing some of the biggest joke man to play for my club.
Marquinhos.
Oh, bro, Marquinhos. Are we gonna forget man? Where is he? I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is, bro. You get me? I'll be honest with you. Like, from the days of Squalacci and Bentner and them, since he came in, I've been witnessing it. He's just bringing it back, the resurgence, bro. You get me? I don't rate the guy anyway. Allow him. I don't care. We'll go and bring someone in anyway. I don't know. Like, what are we gonna do in January anyway? I'm here. I was hearing about summer signings in September, in like what we in October, bro. Why am I hearing about summer signings for next summer in October? That's how you know Eddie ain't got no plan, bro. Eddie was planning to cut from then, bro. When I'm seeing Raheem Sterling and them linked on deadline day, I said, say no more. I said over. Because, bro, if you look at it now, yeah, cool. We played against into the other day. Sterling just chilling on the bench, bro. Why is Sterling still on the bench? Why do we bring this guy in if he's not gonna play? You know what I mean? I can't remember the last time he played a game. You know, he played Preston. He played quite decent. I thought he would have, progressed to do something. I don't know why his Bruins or Eddie's talking. What did Eddie say?
It was strange that he didn't get a game last night because he can't play at the weekend, Sterling, can he? So it was really strange.
What shame! What shame, Adam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not looking good, that one. And Zinchenko's coming on ahead of him now, which is never a good thing, to be fair, man. Look, last questions, man, before I let you guys bounce. Weekend is a must-win game, and I'm kind of making a statement, not a question, really. Is it must-win? I suppose to turn it into a question. And if we do lose, do you think there'll be a certain section of the fan base that just completely gives up? I mean, Mark was talking about there being Meltdown already. If we was to lose again, I'll start with you, Mark. Do you think that could be it completely? Do you think if we lose to Chelsea or if we drop points even, do you think that could be title over? And do you think the fan base will completely turn on the regime and Arteta?
I think the fan base is already turning, Dan, and that actually makes me sad. It really does make me sad. I don't understand it. Like this football club, we went through 21 years of hell, and we all want to win. We all want the common goal. But I just see that the online fan base and some other fans, I don't want to say, but yeah, they're already melting down, and it's all over. For me, it's not. Right now, I am there to the end. We're in 4 competitions right now. Man City, actually, Glenn got to do it. Sorry, Lee and Dan. Man City are fucking shit. So like, as far as I'm going to put it, we're catching in the season, and the Chargers will catch up with them as well. So from where I'm at, Dan, I'm there to the end. I'm there to the final day. The only thing that's going through my head is just that 1 second, that 1% of doubt. Is there more above Arteta going on inside the football club? That is the only negative I have about Arsenal at this moment in time. Apart from that, Dan, no, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. And 4 competitions, trophies will come. We'll all be on that parade, and Lee, Dan, and hopefully I'll meet you at that parade, and we'll all enjoy it together, guys. Don't do the meltdown. Honestly, the snowmans in Scotland are damn, guys. Just please don't.
Listen, man, I love the optimism, man. I do love the optimism, and I hope you're right, and I hope we are lifting it in May. I really do, man, and enjoying it together. Connor, what do you think for the weekend, bro?
If Palmer wasn't in the team, I'd say we'd win it. But you know what? This is the thing, right? Because Chelsea, I remember years ago, Chelsea never gave us a sniff at Stamford Bridge. We remember the iconic 6-0 for them. Many a times we went to Stamford Bridge and absolutely suffered. Recently, we've actually gone there and actually done a job most of the time. But this season, do you know what it is? I find I'm a very reactionary person, I can't lie. So like maybe after a couple of games, I'm like, maybe not. But I don't know if I have the right to be reactionary. Because, the last couple of games have obviously been shambolic. Last 3 games, they haven't been great. Listen, narrow losses, the last 2. But Chelsea are on a good run of form. They're cooking at the moment under Maresca. They're not doing too bad. And at their ground, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. And after these games again, listen, we were 10 men down against Bournemouth. I understand that. And Newcastle again, I feel like we should have learned from our mistakes from last time, but we didn't. I'm honestly going to go for a draw for this on Sunday, which isn't good enough. Like obviously Lee pointed out earlier, it's not good enough to get a draw at Stamford Bridge. You need 3 points if you want to win a league title. But I don't know why a draw is sniffing around with me. Obviously, Rice should be back. Odegaard should be back. Is that a boost? Yes. Saliba's obviously now away from his red card, and obviously against the Newcastle game, he wasn't even that great coming back in from it. I don't know. I'm a bit torn, but I'm gonna go for a draw, either like a 1-1 or a 2-2. But if he does draw, I mean, I'm already on the Arteta out brigade. I'm kind of slipping my way through because I've always been hit and miss. I've always been like, well, there has been progression, but there's been no trophies. But it comes to a point 5-6 years into a process, and there's no trophy. Well, obviously, apart from the FA Cup. But so how many is that? 4 years now? Yeah, 4 years. Coming into 5 next year. It comes to a point where you're like, thank you very much for everything you've done. Thank you for some of the players you've brought in, some of the great memories of some good games. But I'm sorry, it's time to move on. This is football at the end of the day. You've got to move on at some point. So, well, that'll be a discussion at the end of the season. That's something will happen coming this season. But in terms of Sunday, yeah, I think it's going to be a hard game. It's not going to be a walk in the park. And I don't want anyone to think because of Chelsea's recent form in the last couple of years, it's going to be easy. It's not. It's really, if you've seen Chelsea recently, they are doing really well. Even that Nicholas Jackson somehow now performing. They're making him look good all of a sudden. I never rated Nicholas Jackson or some of the players that they had.
They're currently winning 8-0 against Noah FC.
I was 8. Well, yeah. Well, where are they from? Armenia that they're playing? Something like they're going to absolutely cruise that Conference League, man. They're cruising that thing.
It's not good. It's not good when they've got 8-0 wins and they've got
exactly. And then we're off for 1-0 from Inter Milan. So
yeah. Exactly.
Hit and miss. So, and they've rested some players that game as well.
Look, I'm with you. I think it will be difficult. Ayo, what are you telling me for the weekend, bro?
Bro, I won't lie, bro. 6 years is the longest process I've ever seen in my life. But how long is the process you bro? Bro, I'm tired, bro. My eyes are red, bro. These man are making my life difficult. My life is difficult right now. I'm not sleeping well. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Like, bro, I'm already on as Mamas. I kind of agree. I'm already on the kind of like the meltdown stage. I've hit when we lost the other night, bro. I hit the meltdown stage. I'm tired. So if we go there, my thing is I dare Arteta to go there and lose because I got Chelsea friends and that's why I care about now.
Same here, man.
That's the only thing I care about because my team don't care about me. They don't really care because they wouldn't have, they'll go and play like they care. They don't really care about me. So my whole thing is just give me ways to brag against my friend. Give me a reason to talk about football. I can't talk. If you lose on Sunday, I can't say a word for at least 2 weeks. You get me? So I'll be honest with you. If you go there and lose, bro, I'm Arteta out because I know we can't win the league if we lose. I need this league. I need it. I need the league, bro. I won't lie to you. I'm tired. I'm done with the process. The process is finished this year. I don't want to hear about Gyökeres in the summer. I don't want to hear about Havertz or this and that. I don't want to hear about it this summer. I need it now. I need it now. If you don't give it to me now, it's over. I don't care anymore. I haven't got any attachment. He's not my dad. Arteta's not my dad. He's not my sister's boyfriend. I don't care. I've got no attachments to this guy, bro. If you don't give me this league this season, you can just collect your P45 and get out, man. That's all I gotta say, bro.
I think our last two opportunities were the last 2 seasons, especially last season. That was our opportunity. It's such a shame, man. You just deep it. One win, and we would have done it.
And that's
like,
bro. And
so infuriating. That's why this is why football's such a love-hate relationship, and it really hurts you at the end, you know. So it sucks, man. It sucks.
Yeah, trust me.
Not Dave, guys.
Have faith. Got to win on Sunday, though.
Someone tell Robbie if I hear that, believe, bro. Believe. Bro. I can't. Every time the meltdown is too early, it's only 90. I remember just saying we lost the season by 1 point. You know what I mean? You lost the league by 1 point, bro. We can't come and say, oh yeah, it's only the start of the season. It adds up, bro. You look at the end of the season, but okay, cool. We could have won this game. Look at the game we lost here, bro. I'm just gonna hear about it's too early. It's never too early for meltdown. We're Arsenal fans. Have you forgotten who we are, bro? If you go what we've been through, come on, man. It's never too early.
Listen, man. I feel it. I hear it. And listen, big up to all 3 of you because you've come on with different opinions and I like it and I love it. So it's what this show's all about. It's what Arsenal Football Club is all about. It's all about difference of opinions, man. Just before you do go, the 3 of you, I'll bring the other guys in. Lee, just lastly, what are you going for this weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
2-0.
2-0 win. Love it, man. Love it. Listen, Mark, Connor, Ayo, absolute legends. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Guys.
No worries, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, guys.
Love. Take care, man. Take care. Look, to close the show, we've got the last guys coming on, and then we are going to wrap up. Sorry, it's come a bit over at the top, but I'm going to bring them all on together so we can all have a nice, big, happy family chat. Albert, big up to you, my bro. Elliot, big up. Ronnie, big up to you as well. And you know what? I'm excited to welcome this person because this person has been sending in super chats to both my channel and Lee's channel and is a regular listener. Absolute hero. Big up and pleasure to meet you. Suj, how are you, bro?
Big up. Well, hello. I mean, first up, before anyone jumps in, how are you be putting me on with Albert and Elliot in the first half? Jesus, I can't compete with these two.
Don't worry, well, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Take it easy on you. Know what I mean?
No, come on, man. Absolute legends. Thank you so much for joining, boys. Ronnie as well, Elliot and Albert, of course. Look, man, it's been a long, emotional show. It feels like I'm asking the same questions. So I think it's only polite, really, if I just ask you what you guys want to talk about before we come to a close. So, Albert, let's start with you, man. How you feeling, my bro?
I'm all right. Well, the first thing I was looking in the title to make sure you didn't get any sponsorship from the Samaritans because I think we probably needed it after the people before us. But yeah, listen, Dan Potsy, we spoke the other day. You asked me my thoughts about up and coming 2 games. I said to you, I think Inter might sneak it, and they literally did. But it's kind of what I say with the Champions League and the Premier League. It's a different beast, man. Champions League is tough, man. I know Arsenal fans are probably thinking, you know, the dire, poor performance against Newcastle. I felt for the Arsenal fans that went, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Deep down at first in the week. Then you go to Newcastle. Yes, that's over 10 hours, isn't it? Probably traveling.
Yeah.
So it's a long old journey, man. Probably more than that actually coming back as well. So double that. But yeah, I wasn't hopeful going into the game yesterday, Potsy. I'm going to be really, really honest. Just obviously because Inter Milan are the team they are. I hear people talking about their rested players, but listen, teams do that when you've got games coming up thick and fast. The football's changed a lot in the last 15, 20 years. You've got games coming out your ears. But to say I'd be concerned as an Arsenal fan would be an understatement, because obviously we're not playing well. And I think the biggest concern for me with Arsenal at the moment, I don't know how Judges feels in particular, obviously being at the games, like particularly the away games, when Arsenal go behind, are you really confident as Arsenal fans that we're going to get back into the game? And that's the biggest issue. Because even when we go goals behind in games, I think we conceded 11 in the Premier League this season already. I think Forest have got a better Forest have got a better defensive record than us this season. Shows you how well they're doing. But yeah, I mean, we're a blunt instrument in the final third. I've said to you before, Potsy, I don't think we've got enough pace in the side. That's not to say we're slouches, but I don't think we have. Definitely not when it comes to transition and getting in the front foot in the final third. Even with the set pieces, they're dried up. And I don't know where a lot of Arsenal fans sit, particularly with the guys on the panel at the moment and watching this now live when they watch it back. I was always on the journey in terms of, yes, Arsenal can talk about we've probably got another year of Partey and we've got to address the midfield areas, which is an ongoing thing for years upon years, but we do need a striker. I wasn't hoodwinked by the amount of goals he scored last season. Yes, goals by committee, but Potts, I always say, man, clutch moments. We go back to last season in the Premier League, away at the Etihad, the home game against Tottenham. There were moments there we could have gone ahead twice in those two games. Again, down to striking issues. I mentioned the other day to you when we played Newcastle, in the first half in particular. You know what Bukayo Saka is going to do. Arsenal players know what you're going to do. You play with him, you train with him. 25th minute, puts the ball across the box. He's got every right. I'd love to be, a fly on the wall in the dressing room. Saka's got every right to go in at halftime that game against Newcastle Saturday and rollock the front forward players. Why are you not there? That's when we talk about clutch moments. Yes, you might create 15 chances a game. You might create 1 chance per game, but you need your killers in the box. And unfortunately, we're going to keep having the same conversation. You know my feelings about the strike situation, Dan, and people have heard me talk about it. The Gyökeres thing is not. It's not a new conversation with myself. Arsenal did want a striker. Let's not kid ourselves. They did want one. The problem is they wanted Sesko. It wasn't. People wanted Watkins. They might have wanted Tony. They might have wanted Osimhen. Osimhen was a pipe dream just coming to the Premier League regardless. So forget that talk. But being a fellow Nigerian brother myself, but it's for the clutch moments, Dan. Yes, the football's pouring, and people might say, "Oh, the creativity." That's another subject. But if you're talking purely about the striker, that might have been a difference yesterday of us getting a 1-1 draw. We can talk about the tactics from the manager point of view, which I'll finish up shortly. But I look at the game like yesterday, for example, and for the amount of possession we have, and it's nothing new of Arsenal, whether that be the Premier League or the Champions League. But when you bring on Nwaneri from 7 minutes to go, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Even in the flash moments he showed when he sold that guy a dream, and he thought, you know what, ping that in the top corner, man, to get us the point. But it's a worrying time, and I'm going to be honest with you. We've got the game on Sunday. Even if you look at the games coming up, then after that, because we've got to go games in batches. Like we've got Chelsea, we've got Sporting Lisbon away. Oh my God. We've got Nottingham Forest at home. We've got West Ham away. So we've got some big games, man. And we're at a point now, even in November, I get it, there's only 10 Premier League games gone, but we're going to have to win some games hook or by crook. And at the moment, the way we're playing, I'm not sure we're capable of doing that.
Listen, man, they're speaking a lot of facts there, man. Look, I'm gonna get come to Elliot next, and then ask get Lee to ask Ronnie and Suge questions. But I've got to say, Elliot, bro, you're normally the one that puts a smile on my face, bright sunshine, But I've got to say, bro, it's not much to be positive about at the moment, bro. And I wanted to ask you how you're feeling, but also are you confident this weekend that we can bounce back? Because we beat Chelsea and Liverpool drop points and Brighton take something at City, which could happen because Brighton are playing quite well and City aren't. And Liverpool, it's always tough. I know it's at Anfield, but Villa have got to bounce back because they were poor against Spurs. And then things are looking a little bit rosier, man. So can we win on Sunday and turn this form around, Elliot?
All right. To quote a famous NFL quarterback in these parts named Aaron Rodgers, you got to spell this one word, RELAX. Relax. Guys, as a previous panel individual has already said, we're only 10 games into the season, 10 matches into the season, guys. Yes, there is reason to feel a bit aggrieved at what has happened thus far, but let's put it this way. We have had the toughest schedule, I think, of any Premier League team within the last 5 years, within the first 10 matches. You've gone up against every single top team outside of Chelsea, and most of them away from home. Most of them with a lack of our lineup already there, and yet we're still fifth, and yet we're still, I would say, with a good weekend, 4 points outside of touching distance to Liverpool, and yet Liverpool and Man City haven't hit their tough side of their schedule as of yet. And once we reach outside of Chelsea and we get through this international break, look to what we have in store. Now, again, we have this Bournemouth loss, understood, but look to our matches after the international break. And let me tell you, it makes for good reading. It makes for very good reading. And also by the fact that our players, our injured players, are just getting back to health, including the number one man we are missing right now, and that is Martin Odegaard. So, gentlemen, I say this. Things need to be put in perspective right now. We're in the cups. Right now, we are advancing well there. We are still within touching distance of the top side. Now, I get it. I totally understand. We need to win this weekend, absolutely. But as I already said, Martin Odegaard is back. And you know what? To coin a phrase and a very well-tread phrase out here, he's going to make Arsenal great again. And to put it bluntly, gentlemen, we need to understand that yes, the players aren't going well. But when he didn't you notice? Let me ask a question to all of you. When Martin got back into the lineup yesterday, didn't you notice a pickup, a little bit of energy and confidence and attitude come back to the lineup? Now, it's a shame that it has to be from one player. Understood. We need to do much more in the transfer window. But when Martin got back in the lineup, we got our mojo back. We got our swag on. We started picking the ball around, and Inter was saying, "Oh shit! If this guy were healthy, we'd be in trouble right now." And that's why I say to the rest of the Premier League, you're in trouble now. You're in trouble. Odegaard is back. Our players are getting healthy. We've hit the toughest part of our schedule, and we're going to, do what we need to do to get back into this lineup. Now, again, I want to herald one player who has held us down during this whole period, and it's a player that none of us expected to happen, and his name is Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey has been an absolute legend during this time frame. Lee, I don't know if you've been at the matches. You tell me what you see. Dan, you've been there as well. I think Thomas Partey is playing for his dinner. He's playing for a deluxe dinner. He's playing for the creme de la creme of dinners right now. He's playing for his dinner at the Savoy in London right now. He is top tier at the moment. The way he was handling that midfield yesterday at Milan was absolutely outstanding. The general is back. And if you have the general back and playing well, believe me, hope springs eternal. Bring Rice back, bring Odegaard back, and believe me, guys, there is still a long way to go in the season. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And believe me, guys, stay the course And that January window is going to be important. And may I say one name? Whisper it. Kudus.
You
That's all I'm
wanted
saying.
Kudus for a long time, man. You wanted Kudus for a long time, Elliot. I remember
That's
you
what I'm
talking.
saying.
I remember you talking about him. I must admit, I remember me and you saying you was talking about Gyökeres. Now it's Kudus that's coming on. But judges, I'll let you bring in both Ronnie and Suj next.
All right, guys, how are we doing?
Yeah, all good, guys. All good. I know I've met all of you, especially the top three, and finally on a pod together. Lee probably don't remember me. He's probably on one that night. Too many half pints. But in the Tollington quiz when Mike came down. Yeah, you probably don't remember.
I do remember it. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember.
But yeah, all good, guys.
I apologize if my internet cracks out. I'm in the office and the office internet is shit.
That's all right. All right, it's going good.
What do you want to say?
Okay,
Start
first up,
with you, Suj. What do you want to say, bro?
Yeah,
first up,
I've got a bit to say, but I don't know if Serge, you want to go first?
And I always want to say, first up, hit the likes and subscribe. What you're doing, people. I haven't checked the likes and subscribes yet, but just do it. Jump in, Ronnie.
You happy for me to go first, yeah? I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go on. Jump in first.
Nice. No, guys, look, I've got a bit to say, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I want to be quite balanced on this because I'm quite in the middle of everything. Look, I listen to all of you guys. I've spoke to Sharoy, obviously Albert, Dan, we've spoken, spoke Turkish, etc. But the way I am, I'm quite balanced in terms of where I am with Arsenal as a general, to be fair. Look, I've been happy with the progress since it started. I weren't happy the first 2 years. Obviously, I thought, what we're doing getting a rookie. Then, obviously, since that season, we finished fifth. I quite backed the manager in terms of football and where we were going. In the last 2 seasons, I've seen 3 league titles at Arsenal. I've been supporting them since '96, and I've not seen us play like that since the Invincibles, to be completely honest. Yes, we had the 08 season. Yes, we had the Leicester season, but I've never seen us perform to the caliber we've been performing since that 04 season, to be completely honest. And to be fair, I want to see good football at Arsenal, but I also want to see title-winning football at Arsenal. So to see the meltdown after 11 games of this season, I'm sorry, I'm not on it. I'm not on it at all because I think Elliot said it before. You know, I'm looking at fixtures, I'm looking at context, I'm looking at, you know, we played away to Villa, played away to Tottenham, played away to Man City, played away to Newcastle, and now we're playing away to Chelsea, which I'll come on to. None of the teams above us or around us have done that yet. So I'm looking at context in terms of give it another 10 games, guys. If we're still losing points against Chelsea on Sunday and the latter going on to January, yes, then we can ask questions of the manager and the board and whatever's going on. But at the moment, you know, we're okay. We're okay. We're not playing great football for many reasons, down to 10 men Arsenal, down to Arteta, down to, you know, in-game management of subs, bringing them on late. I've got issues with that as well. I'm not saying that's not right. That is completely wrong in terms of the substitutions late on in games, starting 11s, not trusting 70-year-old Ranieri, but at the same time, should have done better in the summer, should have brought better on. But whose fault is that? Is that the reason Edu got sacked? Is that the reason he's not here anymore? Or is that on Arteta? We don't know these reasons. All I'm going to say, guys, is 11 games in, I'm not going to hand the towel in Arteta just yet. I'm sorry. What he produced in the last 2 seasons, as an Arsenal fan, seeing us, you know, performing great back then, I've not seen us since perform that well. So I'm sorry. I've got to give him the season and see how it pans out. And come January, if we're sitting in 5th, 6th, fighting top 4, different discussion. But right now, yeah, got to back the team for me.
And I want to see a buy in January. I want to see them flex their muscles in January. That's all I want to say. Sorry.
I mean, I would jump in here. I think I'm a bit different to yourself, Ronnie and Elliot. Yeah, okay, we've had a difficult run of 10 games. Agreed. But if we are going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season, challenging the Cities and the Liverpools, we can't be affording to lose 2 games so far this season. Again, yeah, fair enough. 10 men, we hope for draws. But if our biggest strength is our defense, we should not be conceding in the 90th minute. We should not be our lack of, I guess, discipline we all know the refs are inconsistent. Let's put it that way. Refs are inconsistent. I'm not going to say they're bad or good or whatever, inconsistent. But knowing that, the lack of discipline should not be there. We should not be putting that option to the refs. And last season, lost by 2 points. That was potentially 2 points against City, 2 points against Liverpool that we dropped. Or the 3 points against Bournemouth that in theory we should have won, or at least a 3 points against Newcastle that we dropped. But we are now 4-5 points worse off at this point of the season than we were last season. If you look at in games comparison, and 2 points is not much now, agreed, after 10 games. But we all know...
but sorry to intervene, but we didn't play the away fixtures, the hard away fixtures we have this season so far in the first 10 of last season. I know, look, I agree with you in a general aspect, but I'm saying it's going to balance out eventually. But my aim is that when it does balance out, if we don't win those games and the other people do, then there's a problem. So I agree with you in a large aspect. I just don't think after 11 games we should be throwing a hat out. You know, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no throwing the hat out per se we have no chance of winning it. I think the bigger picture is tactically not correct this season. Not that we should be.
I think it's how we're playing as opposed to the results as well. I think that's what it is. How we're playing.
Yeah, correct.
I said this, I think I said this in your channel yesterday or whenever that was. I admit Arteta, what he's done in the first 5 seasons has been great, from getting us where we were to now. But is he the right person to get us off the line? I said this at the end of last season as well. And I'll say this again. I don't know. Is there a better manager out there for us? Who knows? But it's just that tactically wise, especially in some of the in-game management, I'm struggling to see if there's any improvement from the last 2 years. If anything, we're getting worse. And our core team hasn't changed. Who do we have new compared to last season? Sterling. I mean, in a season when you're challenging, you're bringing in Marino and Sterling. That's not good enough.
I admit that the transfer window wasn't exactly the greatest this summer. I gave it a 6 out of 10. But to be fair and frank, January is needed. You're absolutely right. I think that we need at least one buy. I would venture, whisper the name. But again, I would say if he comes along, I think I think that's the attacker that we need in order to move this side forward and really, really challenge for the title. But we need a January. To be fair, we need a January.
Marino's been a disappointment, guys, isn't he? At this moment in time, you don't really want to be judging him. Yeah, it's too early, but at this moment in time, none of the players that we signed this season have been a success. You turn around and go, wow, they're great.
Marino looks too slow for the league, in my opinion. It might be early.
He's off the pace yet. But listen,
Calafiori, you got to give him credit. Give Calafiori a bit of credit. Yeah, I think
two injuries already.
Yeah. Get it.
You have to be brutal. You have to be brutal. Reliability is something there. I like him, but you wouldn't say he's not nailed a position in the team at this moment in time because he's been injured.
To be honest, the striker that we need right now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, is we need a Giroud.
Something similar to that. That's what we need.
Yeah, a similar striker to a Giroud who can control the box. Pick up Kai Khan.
Win headers, yeah.
I think you already have it in Kai Havertz. If you ask me, I think Kai Havertz is that Giroud type character right now. I think you need a little more excitement up front.
He's playing midfield at the moment, so that's down on Arteta.
Correct, he's playing midfield.
Yeah, that's Arteta. There you go. That's Arteta. You're right, Lee. Absolutely right.
That's where, that's where the questions are.
I know we keep talking about as Arsenal fans, and we go blue in the face talking about January transfer windows, and I know it never happens the way we want to. We could do everyday daily shows, but I'll be completely honest with you. If we beat Chelsea on Sunday, and that's a big if, but if we get through that international break, get through the December period, and if Arsenal got anything about them as a football club with Edu going, if we sign a massive signing in January, I know it's a massive if, but if we got the right intentions and we go in, put 100 mil down on a Gyökeres or, someone as of that ilk, Isak, I know these players are probably not there, but they're available to put the money down. If we do it in Jan, that's the only way I see us winning a major this season, honestly, because
Ronnie,
I don't see this season petering out the way we want it, unfortunately, just because we don't have the quality up there, unfortunately, guys. That's the harsh truth of it.
Yeah, the only thing with that though is I'm a famous saying, as Potsy's heard me say, I'm 21 plus a little bit of VAT. So I know people keep talking about January, but if you're gonna say we're only sort of a certain amount of games in, and that's not aimed at any of the guys in the panel, because many Arsenal fans have said it. It would depend on what medium and social media you're using, but Arsenal traditionally and typically, we talk about they don't address things in the summer. So why would you be confident as an Arsenal fan that they're going to go and address it in January? And that's the thing is, football moves very, very quickly. Because if we go down the logic of, okay, we're only 10, 11 games in, Christmas is around the corner. The Boxing Day fixtures are around the corner. Then we'll be into the new year. Then what are the supporters going to say then if the football hasn't improved or Mikel is still not making the tactical tweaks and changes that he should be? And I'm actually quite surprised for the length of time he's been in the job. And Dan, we spoke about in terms of, I couldn't believe the substitutions against Newcastle. Judges, I don't know what you was like at the game, because I know what I would have been like if it was at the game when I saw that substitution in terms of Zinchenko and when he brought on Jorginho. I couldn't understand it. I just think tactically, what is he doing here? You've mentioned about obviously the likes of Trossard. Look, and the thing is with him particularly, before I sort of finish up with Trossard, is he done the celebration he did when he scored at Villa. He basically was intimating that he wanted more game time. You have absolutely had that and more. And he has not taken his opportunity. He hasn't.
I agree.
And that's what frustrates with Arteta is Leandro Trossard is a good footballer technically, but he doesn't have the attributes to play that killer pass and the amount of times he's given the ball away. But there's a lot of things not clicking at Arsenal, and you can't turn around and say now, I could understand it if we had a team, and the best thing I could think of top of my head quickly is I look at the Greece team that won the Euros in 2004. That was a very, very functional side, and you could argue that they were set up in a way that they got the best out of them. But Arsenal have got some very good players at that football club. But the way we're playing at the moment, and it can change, of course it can change, but we need to see a lot more. But in terms of the January thing, I wouldn't hang my hat on that because even if Arsenal were to splash the cash, which I don't think they do, for me it'd be on one aspect of the team. It's a striker, but like I said, I mentioned it before, and I said it on Potsy channel and many times before. Arsenal were looking at Benjamin Sesko. Whether you like him or you don't like him or not, that's the guy Arsenal were looking at. And to be honest, we know he'd be a cheaper option than Gyökeres, but it's not necessarily being about the cheaper option. It's about being the right option. And for me, in regards to Sesko, no disrespect to him, maybe he plays for a better club side than he does for his national team. I don't know. I wasn't too overly impressed in the Euros, but listen, he's young. He's got attributes there, but the striker situation is going to be a talking point for so many seasons, Dan, until they address it.
Facts, man. Absolute facts. And that's the thing. We want Gyökeres, they want Sesko. we want Kudus and they want Nico Williams. So, it's who they want. It's not who we want. And we've got to put the trust in what we believe now and pray that something happens in January. Go on, Suj.
Sorry, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever striker that we are mentioning at the moment is currently all cup tied anyway, right?
Yeah.
So they can't play for us in the
Very
FA.
true.
They can't play us for the
Championship. They aren't getting a striker. They aren't getting a striker right now. That's the summertime thing. They ain't getting a striker right now.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we'll get anybody in January, but I'm just being pessimistic because I'm just looking at what we've done in the last few January windows, and it's been naff all. So I think what we're looking at is what we've got, man.
Dan, can I say one thing? What I feel like, just on a positive, for me to finish off on a positive, right? I just think, like, I know it's hard to say, and I'm with you on loads of aspects, right? But if you want to keep the positive, 11 games in only, like the rest of the season to go, is if Arteta wants to change this, if Arsenal fans want to change it, Arteta needs to be a bit more brave, get the bravery up, and start bringing in. He decided to do a young squad. He decided to do from before. Now he decided to bring academy players in because he wanted to shorten the squad. If he really wants to stick to this philosophy, he needs to start bedding in Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri, and start trusting them in big games. I'm not just talking about 10 minutes at the end. I'm talking about starting games. Get them on. Even if we lose, guys, like we're losing anyway, get them on. You might see something. You might see what Emery done to Saka. Do you remember Emery brought him at left back and he shined? Like he brought Martinelli on at centre forward, started banging in 10 goals first season. Trust these boys, get them playing. You just never know what's going to happen. I think desperate times comes for desperate measure. You need a bit of flick of a switch here. And I think if Arteta's got anything about him, just get these boys on. We might see something, guys. And then we might have a little rotation with Odegaard, Wanyeri, etc. We might have not to rely on Timber, right-footed left back, and a Calafiori that's getting cooked. We might have a Lewis Skelly that's actually quite good in that position with his left foot defending, etc. going forward. We just don't know, guys. I'm just thinking like he just needs to be a bit brave and try something different, in my opinion, and we'd be all right.
I agree.
And if Wanyeri got a hold of that shot yesterday against Inter yesterday, that little strike, oh my God, when he turned that defender and literally, tell you what, man, that would have been one of the goals of the season. I tell you,
would have been a worldie, man. Would have been a worldie. Look, we're going to come to a close. Let's get your score predictions for the weekend. Unfortunately, I'm going 1-1. I think it will be a draw. I think we'll cancel each other out. Of course, I hope I'm wrong. I'll be there, so I hope that we do get 3 points. Judges has gone for a 2-0 to the Arsenal. Albert, what are you saying, bro?
Dan, I've stuck firm with this prediction for probably about 2 weeks. I think we get a draw. I have no idea what Chelsea would turn up. You could get the Chelsea that turn up early part of the season. I don't know what you're going to get them, but I think we'll get a point if I'm going to be honest.
Okay, Elliot.
I say there will be goals, but I say Odegaard comes back at the right time. 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, Ronnie.
It's not a prediction. It's happening. 3-1 Arsenal.
Okay, love the optimism. Suj, what are you telling me?
Come on, let's go. We're doing them.
2-1 to the Arsenal.
Okay, love that.
Love it.
Absolutely love that. Listen, man, thank you all so much for coming on. Albert, always great supporter of the channel. Always a pleasure sharing a platform with you. Elliot, great speaking football and Arsenal with you, my guy. And Ronnie, likewise, bro. You said send me the link, so I did. So you jumped.
Yeah, thanks, that bro. Really appreciate that, man.
Come on, bro. Ronnie, always a pleasure seeing you at the Tolly, seeing you at the game and chatting football, man. So absolutely.
Hopefully see you guys soon, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
listen, absolutely, you will, man. And Suj, big up. Thank you so much
big
for coming.
Suj.
I'm telling you, this Australian time zones are terrible, but you guys got me hooked. Suj,
what's the time zone, bro?
It is 8:15 a.m. at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah, 10, 11, you have to say, I thought 2011. Yeah.
10:15 in Palmer's Green.
He got 5:15. He got 5:15 in Toronto. 5:15 in Toronto. There you go.
It's terrible when the games are at 2 a.m. and you have to work in the morning.
Suj, love it.
Yes.
Love it. That's what the Arsenal do to you.
Yeah,
it's true.
I do, man.
It's true.
I do. Listen, thank you all so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Lee, I'll let you see us out, mate, and say bye to everyone.
Yeah, look, thanks for everybody coming on. Been a pleasure. Don't be too downhearted. You never know. The Spurs fans were giving it to us yesterday,
Yeah.
but it's all gone quiet. Did they lose today? Or did they win? And when they went down to 10 men, did they attack? Or did they defend? Who cares? They lost. Good night.
Well said.
Big up, big up.